So I've had this epiphany this morning. I was on my kayak on the river and I just had this moment. This is Beks from Zen Physio Yoga and Be a Beacon, Conscious Health. I'm here at Imbil camping and I just had this epiphany. I don't know about you, but I love camping. And I know it's been about getting back to basics, everything being really simple. But I just had this moment today on the river that I wanted to share with you around why we're unhappy and how actually having more leisure time and more ease in our life is probably what's killing us and making us all feel so lack of purpose and low self-worth. So I drew this little diagram. I'm going to sort of reference it. You probably can't see it. In fact, it's probably back to front, isn't it, for you? So if you see me just looking down, it's because I had this little moment and I wrote some stuff down. And yeah, I just wanted to try and explain it to you to see if you're resonating on that same wavelength as me. Because I know that a lot of us struggle with self-worth. We struggle with sense of purpose. And yet we're looking to make our lives more easeful. Yeah, and I don't think that's the right way to do it. Because when our life is easeful, it's different from it being simple. Okay, so I want to give you the analogy of when we're camping and say we're chopping wood. It's not easy chopping wood for a fire, but it's a simplicity. You chop the wood, you make the fire, you cook your dinner. It's simple because there's only so many things you can do. You've only got 1 or 2 pans, but it's easeful if all you have to do is click a switch and you've got your gas going. It's easeful if you can go to the shop and just pick what you want. It's easeful if maybe someone's already made it for you, but it's not simple. You may have a whole heap of different pots to choose from. There's a whole supermarket full of stuff to pick. So there's a difference between the simplicity and ease. And what I'm matching the simplicity with is a simplicity and this slight struggle for survival. Because if we match those two together, I've got a bunch of things here. When we can put simplicity and a slight struggle for survival together, then there's so much more room for gratitude when we accomplish things. There's a sense of purpose and accomplishment. There's a delayed satisfaction when we actually get those steps and get things done. Out of this arises more balance because there's no excess. We're just doing what we need to do. There's that saying, necessity is the mother of invention. So in simplicity and this slight struggle for survival, there is invention. I know that even when I'm camping, I don't have the right things with me. I don't have all these wonderful different ingredients, but I make these awesome things because there's a necessity. There's an invention that comes from having less stuff. We become more creative. There's a sense of community and connection because there's simplicity which creates space, and yet there's a need for survival, and we're human beings, so we get drawn together. And even the other night, just hearing all these other families, we're just here with our family, but there's all these other families and people around, and there's just a comfort in hearing their just gentle sounds. And yet equally, we're also communicating more just in the space. There's a sense of community without having to be on top of each other and in each other's lives. We're chatting down the river, the dogs are saying hello, we're saying hello up at the market here, we're very close to town. There's smiles and familiarity when you've been here a few days. We don't have to be on top of each other and in each other's lives, but there's a real sense of helping each other out. Yeah, I couldn't get my trailer off the car, so some guy just came over and helped me. This is simplicity and space, but a need for survival. There becomes clarity because there's not so many choices, right? It's a do or die. Maybe not here camping at Imbil, but you know that there's not so many indecisions. It's just, do I do this or do I do that? There's 2 choices, yeah? And there's a drive. When there's a need for survival, there's a drive to do something. Yeah, I'm here, I can't just go and get a takeaway, that there's a drive to do that dinner. There's a simplicity about how it's going to be, but there's an element of survival, getting that fire ready. So what about the other side? We have all this ease and leisure. Isn't that what we're all looking for? Isn't that what we all want? Isn't that what's going to make us happy? Well, I don't think so. Here we have ease and leisure. We fall into complacency. We don't feel as if we have so much of a purpose because everything's already being done. Like we're just in excess. We're not needed. There's a sense of entitlement that comes, and a selfishness and an ego that it's all about mine. The more we have, the more we grasp onto it. We get caught up in short-term gratification because everything's so easy to get that we want it now, and we want to fulfill our desires quickly. I feel like there's less creativity, less innovation, less invention, perhaps when everything is more easeful and more leisurely because, well, everything's already done. There's lots of choices already. Why do we need to create anything else? So maybe there's more boredom, less satisfaction, less gratitude because, well, we just have everything anyway, you know, and it's sort of that, you know, teenagery entitled sort of complaint, you know, they're not grateful for what they have. I'm seeing it sometimes with my teenagers right now, and we have to sort of say, well, what if you didn't have this? You don't realize how lucky you are, type scenario. So I think that's the main things I had down. What do you think? I would love to hear your comments around this. Do you feel as if the ease and leisure that we're constantly maybe striving for and creating in our lives is actually creating more boredom, more lack of purpose, more problems with self-worth, more issues around over excess? And do you think we need a little bit more survival? Yeah, do you think we need more simplicity actually to create more happiness? That's my thoughts. I'm really playing with that at the moment and just, yeah, finding the juice in that. And I would love to hear your thoughts. So jot something below, see what you come up with. How does that sit with you? And let me know.